Alright, hey guys, what's going on? It's Biff from Fearless Mods, and I am in this dark garage with the door shut because it is snowing outside, and at least I had enough forethought to bring the cars inside, make room for that green S13, because today we're just going to do a little bit of work here to try to help his overheating problem. We're going to put a thermostat in it real quick. He's already put a couple in it. We're going to go to a little hotter thermostat, a 180, and see if we can fix the problem that's been occurring with his new engine and that bigger radiator. Let's get going. One thing this thermostat has that, kind of been curious about is a weep hole in it. That might just be my term, I'm not sure. That little brass dot that's like right here at the end of my finger, it's just kind of loosely plugged. That thing kind of rattles around, but that's where there would be a hole that would allow water to go ahead and go by the thermostat if it was closed, just to allow some circulation through there. So that's one of the things, and I can see light through it. So as it drops back like that, I don't know if you can see that, but it's dropped back right now. And with it being dropped back, that is in the direction of water flow. So that's telling me that the water does push up against that and allow a little bit of water to trickle through. So it does have one. We had talked about drilling, maybe it looks like it's about that size, like maybe about an 1/8 inch of a hole through the new one. If it didn't have that, might just take out the little metal tab there so that it's just an open hole. It's pretty small, so it's not going to have a huge effect on it, but better than not having anything there. I was actually kind of hoping maybe this one didn't quite have that. But the other thing we're doing is this is a 170 thermostat, which is what these are supposed to have OEM, and we're going to go to a 180. See if just having a higher temp thermostat might kind of help with the temperature distribution on this thing as it's trying to heat up and then start opening up to allow cooling through the radiator. That's the one we took out. See what the 180 looks like. Same thing. It's got the same little bead in there, and it allows so little water to come through that I'm going to see if I can get in there and just snip that out. I got a hold of that little brass thing in there. Harder than it looks. There's one snip and it's gone. Now you can see that just leaves the hole in its place. So now we've got the ability for a little bit of water to flow through there. It's about an 1/8 inch hole, so that'll work well. And let's go ahead and get our gaskets cleaned up so we can put this 180 in there. Start looking at the, it's got a strict bolt, so not going to be able to get the drill in there behind it with the rad in there. So what I'm going to do is see if I can maybe at least get the thread, tap the thread down in there into the existing hole to be able to then put in the helicoil. But first, we've got to go ahead and get that side of the gasket cleaned up.
Try to get all these little pieces out of here so none of them get stuck in between there and make the flange sit on there crooked so that it can leak. One went out the back. Alright, that one's clear. That one goes into nothing. So let's see if we can get that tapped. Here's the tap that goes with it. That's going to be tough because that is much bigger. And I still don't have clearance here. I need about 3-inch extension. Let's see what we can do.
So I'm going to try to get a socket. Usually a 12-point socket, if you get the right size, will fit on a square tip like that. Probably not going to have the right one. I don't have many 12-point sockets that size. So the nice thing is it fits into the 1/4-inch ratchet hole quite nicely. So let's see, maybe we can rig this here. Might have lucked out. So I've got a piece of hex that's just straight on both ends. Oh wow, and I grabbed the right socket too. So I got this 8mm 1/4-inch socket that goes on the end of that, goes right on the end of this. Now I can use another 8mm socket, and then I'll have my extra length. I'm going to do it with a 1/4-inch ratchet. So there's my contraption. It will all slide apart because it's all just loosely fit together. But if I keep pressure on it, I should be able to get in there and get this going.
Back it out a little, just to break loose some of those chips. Keep going in. I want to get an idea how deep I'm going in there because this one bottoms out and I don't want to bottom out the tool, which would then cause me to start just peeling off the threads. Now that I know it's going to work and I've got it started, I'm going to get a depth on here and then try to mark it on the tool. Doesn't go real deep. And it probably bottoms out down in there a little bit too. But I'm already in there that far. So I gave myself just a little shy so I wouldn't hit the rounded out part at the bottom. So let's see, I might already be there. I have a little further to go. Okay, we're up against the tape, a little turn extra, and then I'm coming out. That should be enough to get our helicoil in there. Looking pretty good. Let's get that helicoil in there with some Loctite.
I am going to take my little helicoil and I'm going to, I got it on the installation tool here. I'm going to put a little bit of the high strength thread locker on there because I don't want it to come back out. Just a little bit here and there will spread around and lock that in just fine. So I just put a little bit on there, it's working its way around, and it will continue to work its way around as I put it in the hole.
So now I'll go ahead and get this here. I've already blown that out and let it dry with some brake cleaner, so this should thread right on in there. I'm going to thread it in until I get the threads below the surface. About right there. Seems to be tightening up too, so that's about perfect. You want to make sure that top thread there is below the surface. It feels pretty flush. That's about as close as I'd want to get it with that gasket in there over the top of that. That'll be good. Looks like it's already snapped off. So now that that's in there, we will let that Loctite harden up. I'm not going to use brake cleaner anymore because I don't want to weaken that Loctite. I want that to do its job. So we get in there and blow around with a air gun just a little bit to try to get that little piece out before we install everything. But for now, that's the installation of the Helicoil. You can see that there's no crossing piece. There's a little bit of silicone still down in there from previous gasket maker, but the cross piece is gone, and so that's good to go. If it was not gone, what we would do is we would take the just take a punch and stick a punch straight back in there like that, put it on the tang, and then give it a tap to knock it off, and then we would blow that out. But this, I've already pulled out some pieces of metal shavings off the end of the punch there. It had a little bit of magnetizing to it, and so I went ahead and cleared that out, and so it's good to go. The reason I want to wait for it to dry is because I don't want to put our bolt in there and then have it thread locked into that, because then next time we go to back it out, it'll just pull the helicoil with it, or try to at least, and then end up being a terrible mess. So I'm going to give that a little bit of time, and then we'll go ahead and install it. Got the new thermostat with the weep hole. I'm going to go ahead and orient the weep hole to the bottom. So it'll sit down in there like that. Got a gasket that we'll put on there. I'm going to go ahead and put some silicone on both sides of that just to give it something to seal up a little bit better. And that gasket does go one particular way, because if it's this way, that top hole's a little bit offset like that. So put it on there like that. I'll give it a smear of silicone on both sides, and then we'll be ready to bolt that thing on there. The little Permatex gasket dressing and sealant. Like so, a little bit on both sides. And let's get this thing going here. So make sure you get that thermostat down in the groove, otherwise it won't seat flush. Okay, so right now I've just got them all snug down. Now I'll go check the torque for this standard size bolt, M6. It has a one pitch with a 6mm diameter. It says 3.8 foot-pounds is standard torque, so that's about 45 inch-pounds. So 3.8 foot-pounds, 45 inch-pounds. Snug them down evenly here. Ooh, that's a very slight click. You barely feel it. But I can. And there we go.
So it's a pretty simple job. Got that, just got to clean up the gasket, put the thermostat in there, torque everything down, put the hose back on. Now we just got to put the, refill the radiator, and this will be a complete job. We'll see. I'll run it for a little bit, see if we need to burp any bubbles out of it or anything like that. But right now, I got to go watch the Chiefs kick the Colts' butt in the playoffs. So what it appears to be doing is the top hose got hot pretty much immediately, and so did the tank. But the return hose through the thermostat has not yet. It's starting to get warm now, just slightly getting warm. So what I was doing is opening the little bleeder screw on top there to try to see if there's any air in there to try to get that out. Now if we can just keep the thing idling, that would be nice. Temperature gauge looks real nice right in the middle. And of course, anytime antifreeze gets on anything, it likes to get really smoky on that aluminum radiator. It's almost like I can hear some water starting to open up through that thermostat. It's looking good. All right, guys, I think we're going to call that a wrap. And hope for when we get rid of this snow, get this thing back out. I hope that it is operating the way we'd like it to, and hopefully this will kind of take care of that overheat problem. Clearly we have other problems, but it'd be nice to at least have that one fixed and be able to have heat in the winter. So, all right, that's a wrap, guys. Once again, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe these videos. Thanks for all of you who have done so and continue to watch us. We appreciate you helping to get us over 1,000 subscribers. It's been a goal for a year, and it's feeling pretty good to finally be there. So that's going to be it. Thanks, guys. Take care.